All right, Raf Diallo here from RT Sport. It's the morning after the night before, and unfortunately, from an Irish perspective, two late goals from Cristiano Ronaldo last night saw Portugal beat the boys in green 2-1 in Faro. But in a couple of days' time, Stephen Kenny's side have a chance to win their first points of the campaign, which brings us to Azerbaijan. Ireland have played nearly every UEFA member at some point, but on Saturday, we meet the Azerbaijanis for the first time. They're ranked 112th in the world, and our team we know so little about, so we need a bit of insight on them. And for that, I'm joined by Farid Akhundov. Farid, thanks very much for taking the time to chat to me. I suppose to start off, the Luxembourg result for Azerbaijan last night. Of course, we were busy with Portugal and Ireland, which unfortunately didn't go in our favour. But how did you view that result for Azerbaijan as they lost 2-1 in Luxembourg?
Firstly, I want to thanks for invitation. I should say about Azerbaijan lineup yesterday, because Jan Debiazi made a surprise squad in yesterday match. For example, our current best player Mahir Emreli came into the second half, and Ozovic, new player for Azerbaijan national team, and played in the midfield. And Jan Debiaz made some surprise in the lineup, and we literally watched two different parts yesterday match. Azerbaijan team showed that their potential in the second half, not first half and generally. But we tried to draw. Emin Mahmudov's goal hoped us, and we tried to find second goal, but it is not easy because Luxembourg is very effective team in the attacking, and they have some football players who they play major league. And our team have, for example, Anton Kirvatsuk and Mahir Emreli players. They play Ekstraklasa, Poland Major League. And we think that if we would play real lineup, maybe victory would have come.
So before we get into the current team in detail, we probably just need to go back to when Azerbaijan made a lot of progress. So that was under Berti Vogts, the former Scotland and Germany manager, and then Robert Prosinecki, the Croatia legend as well, got some good results. So going back to that period between 2008 and 2014, how did Berti Vogts improve things?
Okay. In fact, we were generally not satisfied with Bert Vogts' system and Bert Vogts because working for a long time, we think that he hasn't changed much thing in our team, and his philosophy was totally different. This philosophy wasn't same with our national team and football philosophy. He couldn't change much thing in our national team, and generally we think that we lost priceless time with him because he worked 8 years, and it is very long time for Azerbaijan national team. For example, Jan Debiazi is the different coach because he succeeded some lucky things in Albanian national team, and we expect some good things from him. For example, Debiazi changed, for example, the defender style in Azerbaijan national team. He especially added defensive games features. Our expectations are high for him, because we have some foreigner players currently squad. For example, on the list announced for the BIZ, 11 players, the first to be called up by Debiazi. He wants to do some things new. For example, he plays 5 defenders. It's not that hard to play defense in a team like Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan that doesn't have big goals. We just only want 3 or 4 points every qualifying. And it's not that hard for Debiazi, but there are certain shortcomings in terms of attack. Debiazi in search of new things in this sense. We think that Azerbaijan national team could find many goals, some match, for example, against Luxembourg, Cyprus. And we think that we could play more better than now.
Yeah, and of course, as you mentioned, defensively, he has put more focus on it. And I've seen from the results, they're only mostly narrow defeats. So you only lost 1-0 to Portugal, 2-1 in some of the other games. Is the Portugal game, given that you only lost 1-0, is that actually seen as a positive result in a way?
Losing to Portugal is normal. Very normal. Yes, Portugal is the best team in the Europe. Defensively, there was a good team against Serbia, but we think that Mitrovic's goals set the score. We might not have to lose to Luxembourg, but unfortunately, we got the unlucky lineup. But we could beat Luxembourg, we think that, because it is the normal team for us. But next games, for example, Ireland or Portugal, is very, very hard for us. Maybe we could end these qualifiers without points. Maybe.
Okay. So how do you think, or what lineup do you think Dibiasi will pick to play against Ireland?
Ireland. I think that Dibiasi will choose Mahir Emreli, Anton Kirvachuk, and other main players. Because yesterday Azerbaijan lineups is not first lineup, first choose. Debiazi did some new things yesterday's match, but this time we will fight. We will want 3 points, because we haven't any points after 3 matches, and we want to get some points at this 3 points, because we will not lose anything if if we play attack football.
Okay, and looking at the squad, in terms of the players, because we don't know them, you've mentioned a couple of them. Who are the really key players in the Azerbaijan team that maybe could cause us a problem?
Mahir Emreli plays in the Poland Ekstraklasa league. Same league. Anton Kirvachuk also plays. Anton Kirvachuk is the center back, but Mahir Emreli is the forward. And Mahir Emreli plays for Legia Warsaw, and he performs very well. He may be the best player for our team. Also, Emin Mahmudov is doing good work, even Neftchi and Azerbaijan national team. He's the most influential name of the Neftchi this season. A very important player in the midfield. There's another very effective weapon like Ozovic in the midfield, and Mahir Emreli scored 6 goals this year for Aviva. Same time, he scored UEFA Champions League qualifying and Europa League qualifying for Legia Warsaw.
Yeah, and one of the other things I noticed, I think about 9 of the squad are playing for Qarabag, which is probably the biggest club in Azerbaijan at the moment. They've had a lot of success in terms of reaching a Champions League group stage, 4 Europa League group stages, and they're in the Conference League group stage for this season. Can you just tell me a little bit about the club, where they come from, and how they developed this level of success?
Okay, Qarabag helped Azerbaijan national team sometime. Qarabag helped Azerbaijan Football League. Qarabag helped to improve Azerbaijan football players. But we think that Qarabag's results is very high. Our national team, Qarabag has been played in groups in Europe for the last 8 years. This success of Qarabag also had a positive impact on the national team. Same time, currently 9 players, in the national team play in Qarabag. The goalkeeper of the national team is also from this team. And Mahir Emre also served in Qarabag during his time. Players such as Abbas Suyanov and Toral Bayramov, new players who are important behind this system, are also the main squad players in Qarabag. Qarabag's style of play is also among the factors that directly affect the national team. But of course, Qarabag has more successes than the national team, our national team. We think that because Qarabag manager is very different, Kurban Kurbanov, and Qarabag manager prefer to keep ball and prefer to keep opponents in the midfield, and they try to that keep ball in the midfield, and they try send the ball forward, winger, left or right winger. Yes, it is very different from our national team, their styles.
Yeah, and in regards to the Azerbaijani view of the Irish team, how well do people in Azerbaijan know our players, or even, the way we play the game?
Yes, we know Ireland national team and Ireland football. We know that Ireland football style looks like Britain football system, and it is frightened of us. It is very fear of us because Ireland football national team like to play head, and they prefer to play in the second high level. For example, they like free kick, they like corner kicks, and it's hard to defend these balls for us. And really, we now Robbie Keane, very
long retired now. Yeah.
Yes, and we remember that every time Ireland France match. It's the hard match.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Thierry Henry match. Yeah,
Thierry Henry's goal.
Yeah,
we remember that.
Yeah, and I suppose finally, before I let you go, so last year there were reports, and it was even reported here, I think, in the Irish Times, that when Azerbaijan were looking for a manager before they appointed DiBiase, that Roy Keane was somebody that apparently they contacted. was there much truth in that? Was that reported in Azerbaijan at the time?
I don't know. This contact is officially or not, but Sky Sports published such news. Azerbaijan national team wants Roy Keane for the head coach as head coach, but I couldn't say anything about it. Our national team, also AFA, wanted Roy Keane as the manager because I haven't any exact or official issue or news about it.
Well, thanks very much anyway for taking the time, Farid. So hopefully, hopefully you do get points before the end of the campaign, but maybe not against Ireland. Hopefully from our perspective. But Farid, thanks a million for taking the time.